Greetings once again, Tecmo Super Bowl fans. I am joined again by Retro Sports Gamer Tom. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I'm just looking forward to a matchup between the Atlanta Falcons and the Phoenix Cardinals.
Is that one of your favorites?
Yeah, you know what? This is a matchup that I don't play too often. I don't see too often, but I think it's a good matchup. The Atlanta Falcons kind of have that lopsided team. They're in that mid-lower tier. And so are the Phoenix Cardinals, but they have those two strong safeties, and they're tough to get past.
Okay. Well, at the helm for the Atlanta Falcons is Suicide King 81. He'll have Mike Rozier there at the running back position. Of course, we have Bad Moon Rising along with bad quarterback play, and then we have Johnny Johnson and the rest of the crew there in Phoenix. So let's get it started here. If you haven't had a chance yet, we did just do a game between these two. It's fantastic. If you check out the playlist, I highly recommend you watch it. It's a Buffalo-Houston matchup, not to disappoint.
And Lucky Tool in this one is really going to have to play some good defense. That's his advantage in this game. And the Atlanta Falcons, they got Neon Dion, but not much else. And Andre Rison should be a big factor in this one. You might see some bombs thrown up to him, so we'll see.
Looks like a pretty standard playbook. You've got 3 run plays. You've got the pro set mashed with the pass 3. And it looks like Rison is going down in the wide receiver 2 position. Yep. And he's going to moon this out, and I imagine you're going to see a whole heck of a lot of this.
And this is a common strategy with the Atlanta Falcons. They do have a pretty decent running game, but when you have a receiver that's as good as Andre Rison and is fast, you just throw some up to him sometimes and see what happens.
And ill-advised rotation there with, I thought it was McDonald or Young in the area, but already we see Miller crapping the bed there, throwing a pick, and now Wolfie first
Young,
down.
He's got that 69 run speed at the snap of the ball, running all over the place, 56 INT. He's going to pick that off against a guy like Chris Miller, and that's what happened there.
Looks like a pass 4 going right up to Ernie Jones, and now another pick, but Scott Case with the pick, but it looks like he is now inside the 1 yard line. It looks like the 1 pixel line. Rozier now bouncing outside, former Heisman Trophy winner, 4 yards on first down. Second down here for the Atlanta Falcons. Suicide King dodging a bullet there with that early pick.
Yeah, the Atlanta Falcons defense their secondary may be slow besides Deion Sanders, but their INT is all above 50, so you don't want to throw to covered Falcons or covered receivers when Falcon defenders are on them. And here's a nice scramble by Chris Miller for 8-yard gain. He doesn't have too much speed, but when you get 8 yards from him, that's pretty darn good.
So often, risky throw there, but completes it to the RB2 position. With that QB sneak and who the defenders are usually chosen, I struggle to think that that's going to be an effective play. Your thoughts on maybe leveraging something like the motion plays that we saw in that last game that are borrowed from the Redskins playbook?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but if you get the right blocking with that run 4 with the quarterback, pretty much even a slow quarterback can get a few yards on it, and that's all you're really trying to do with that play. Mort's particularly good at using that play, and he's showed me the ropes with that one a little bit, so I cannot knock that QB sneak in the playbook.
And we have 4th and 9 here, early test for Suicide King, who has, out of nowhere, taken down by Ken Harvey. Not even a chance to throw that ball up for grabs, and now we see a motion run coming in here. Jesse Tuggle is chosen. Runs up top. Johnny Johnson sees the end zone, and he is in for the score. So just like that, sack on 4th down. Johnny Johnson and his hidden stats doing work for Lucky Tool.
Yeah, Suicide King 81 and Lucky Tool, these guys, they do not like to punt. Their confidence in their offensive abilities, and I could see why. But it just didn't work out there, and that was an easy capitalization for Johnny Johnson, O'Toole, and the Phoenix Cardinals.
Looks like this returns out near the 8 or 9 yard line. Not a whole lot of breathing room if you're going to keep chucking it with Miller, but another single back formation this time, run 3. And I feel like he's kind of been sitting on this and then pass one and kind of back and forth.
Yeah, the
go ahead.
Falcons don't have the best offensive line, so sometimes it's hard to get Rozier going in the running game. Even though he's a 50 max speed, you think you can do better, but it comes down to really how the Falcons' offensive line blocks.
We saw from that fourth down play not too well, and I'm guessing there might have been some latency or something here, a little bit of delay. Again, to the viewers at home, nice first down there and run 3. You're not viewing this the way they viewed it. You're viewing the inputs that the emulator captured in perfect timing, whereas the emulator will slow things down and frame skip if there's lag present. Nice run 2 there for the first down. Now we're back to single back formation.
Lucky Tool's using a lot of Lonnie Young, and I love Lonnie Young. He's fast, like I said. Also, if you get him to turn, his acceleration is, at the snap of the ball, he's a 69 run speed, so he can turn actually better than under defenders as well.
Back up the middle here to Rozier. Just caught up from behind, had a chance there to maybe get another 10 to 15 yards, and the drone does good work there. I imagine Miller will probably just hang on to this one. It looks about 7 yards on first down. And against these defenders, you don't want to force anything.
Yeah, Suicide King's doing a good drive, he's doing good so far on this drive. Just driving up slow and steady, and if he keeps up at this pace, he'll be in the end zone pretty soon.
And Miller had, I don't know if he's got Collins or it looks like maybe Dixon up there. It was wide open and just elected to not throw to him and hang on to the ball himself. And might be changing this out. Dixon and Bad here.
And even though the Atlanta Falcons don't have a traditional tight end, they still got Tracy Johnson with that 50 hit power. So if you're looking to move the ball in the running game, he's a good guy to put in there as one of your receivers at one of those tight end positions just to get some extra blocking.
Pro set will be either a dive play or dive. And Rozier, he had Lucky Tools man defender tied up, but just couldn't get away from those Cardinal defenders.
He's got tons of options right here, and he chooses to scramble. Sometimes, the scramble out of bounds when you got the first down is the sure thing. Throwing up a pass with Chris Miller sometimes can be risky.
And that was risky right there to RB2. 3 guys right in the area. Wouldn't be surprised if that had been picked off. Back to the same play, going up burn route to Thomas, and again, risky, really not open when it comes to things like Lonnie Young and how fast he can recover.
Yeah, not much doing on the first 2 downs of
this time getting it up to wide receiver 1 there on pass 2. Nice job leveraging, stretching the field, running down to the bottom and throwing cross field.
And Suicide King's doing a great job of draining the clock here. It's going to be tough. Lucky Tool's definitely not going to have enough time to get a drive going. So
back-to-back caught and runs here. And poor throw decision there. Not sure if he saw him, but the frames might have covered up the defender.
Yeah, I don't know. With it being Falcons, Cardinals, that all their players have black jerseys on white. I don't know if that was the case there. It's probably just an errant throw, and it just didn't work out in his favor.
So costly turnover coming away with no points, and now time is given back to Lucky Tool. And you don't have the fastest receivers, but you certainly can chuck it up with quarterbacks like Tupa and Rosenbach and have a reasonable chance for a JJ. First down there from Wolfley. Nice run there.
And I really like the playbook that Suicide King has. His playbook is geared to run straight towards Deion Sanders and force Suicide King to use a different defender. because the other Falcons defenders are pretty weak. Jesse Tuggle that he's using right now is a 44 max speed. He's getting back in coverage. Wow. Huge JJ jumping catch right there by Roy Green. And this is going to be a 2-touchdown ball game. It's going to be an uphill battle here for Suicide King now.
Lucky Tool did two things well there. Obviously the touchdown that we just saw, but he threw the ball in time to give himself another chance at the end zone. He didn't keep running backwards and then chuck it up. He threw it up early, so if they fell incomplete, he could have thrown another ball. And now we're going to see the run out of bounds to end the half. So Lucky Tool 2-score advantage here, and I think he might be getting the ball here at the start of the half. Yes, he is. So, and if I were Suicide King, I wouldn't be hesitant to the concept of an onside kick there because it gets Tooley really hard to stop this guy.
Yeah, I don't know if I would go with the onside kick there, just because it puts you in almost automatic field goal range to make it a 3-score game. So I think he did the right thing by kicking the ball deep.
And you may be right here because we have a fumble and now a defensive recovery here. Well, you called it, Tom. This is why I call the games and you break them down.
Yeah, that was a huge play right there, that fumble. Now he's got a chance to make it a one-score.
He gave it back. I tell you what, those burn routes are awesome when you're playing with Buffalo Bills and the Houston Oilers, but when you're playing with Miller Time and Rosencraft, it's really hard to...
Yeah.
A drone dive there? It looked a little weird. I didn't see a grapple of any kind there, but now he's barely out of the end zone here. I mean, look at that. The football's touching the goal line.
Yeah, safety would be huge right here, but choosing to stay back in coverage, probably a smart play.
And a punt is surely incoming here.
Yeah, still 3rd down and 12, so he's got an opportunity.
Oh, my apologies. I thought it was 4th down. I should probably pay attention to the broadcast. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that would be a good thing, but so far so good.
What a completion. Ernie Jones up top.
If Lucky Tool gets any type of score on this drive, it's probably going to be ball game. So he really just needs about 40 more yards and a field goal, and this one's probably over. So Suicide King's still looking pretty good. He's on his own 23-yard line. So let's see what happens here.
And from our last game, it looked like pretty consistently Suicide King had the taps. So you see Lucky Tool not really wanting to engage in that one-on-one opportunity. And I think that is the playbook that he used last game was more indicative of isolation opportunities. And we still see at least that play, as far as the dive play, still there. But the other plays have some lead blocking opportunities.
Yeah, if he plays anyone
nice juke.
Besides the Falcons, I wonder if he has a playbook like this with the Cardinals. Probably not. I think the strategy is to attack Deion Sanders.
And he's doing well because he's not going with him because he sees those plays coming. And Wolfley now getting some blocking help, and now nice run here by Wolfley. He's definitely in field goal range even for, was it Del Greco?
Yeah, now I think it may be Del Greco.
Del Crapo. He's terrible, but, you know, one thing, the arrow does move fast if you're fast with the thumb.
Yeah, he's probably tied for one of the worst kickers in the game, only a 63-yard range in average.
One of the few guys that can miss an extra point.
Yes, sir.
And Johnny Johnson, hidden stats, engaged, touchdown, Cardinals.
And that's probably going to put this one away. Lucky Tool's been all over the field. He's got some picks on Chris Miller. He's got some key runs going with Johnny Johnson, and there he was able to run it in. And there's not much else for Suicide King to do but make this one respectable.
And another fumble here. This is getting ugly, and the point differential is going to bump Lucky Tool up against the other teams with the same record. So he's got now a 4-score lead, even with player 1 and all the prayers in the world. I don't see that this coming back, but those are the Tecmo gods. You might as well, if you're going to lose, might as well just lose. But let's see if he can get some points on the board here to get some pride points here.
Yeah, those are the worst things that can happen to you. A lost fumble on a kickoff or punt return for a touchdown. It's just such a backbreaker.
And I thought that might have been a safety there, but it looks like, I don't know how many times we've seen snaps from inside the 1 here today, but it's more than I care to see.
Yeah, a lot more than usual, and there hasn't been a safety yet.
And tries to go to Collins, who's now in the wide receiver 2 position. For breathing room, I thought the underneath might have made more sense just so you can operate a little bit, but then now we have a safety.
Yeah, there it is. We thought it was coming. Too many snaps from the inside of the 1. Something had to give, and there it was.
Now Davis can wind clock.
And he might be able to march that one into the end zone if he kept running, but he respects his opponent. He knows this game's over, so he's just going to try to run the clock out.
Yeah, 30-0. I played a game against Coconuts, and it was 30-something to nothing in a tier like this. The Cardinals were involved against the Steelers. I know what it's like to be on the other end of it, and you just got to bite your lip and take your punishment.
Yeah, especially in the GBLAN online tournament where your games will be uploaded on the YouTube channel. Your videos are out there, and there's a field goal attempt right here that's no good. And let's see if Suicide King 81 can't just get us some points on the board right here.
And another fumble.
Wow.
And the Cardinals take over again with a chance to put more points on the board and widen the differential.
Yeah, the Tecmo gods are doing no favors to Suicide King 81 in this one.
And Suicide King actually was playing that properly, started the diving animation, and ended up somehow running into an engaged player. He actually was in perfect position to dive tackle right in the hole there, and just nothing really going for him. And I think that's kind of one of those games where you just kind of throw away the tape and say, you know what, it just wasn't going to happen today.
Yeah, and there's a touchdown again by Roy Green, so O'Toole really putting the point differential on the board here. This matchup, Phoenix Cardinals versus Atlanta Falcons, if I'm given the choice of the matchup, I'm always taking the Cardinals. And the Falcons probably have a little bit better offense, but the Cardinals' defense of options with the 2 safeties, Lonnie Young, Tim McDonald, just switching back and forth between those guys on runs that go up and down the field. It's just too much to handle for a team like the Falcons with a bad quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. And you can have like Rison and Collins in the clear, and you'll have Miller just overthrow him. That's the type of, and we didn't see so much of that today. But they're just defensively, the Cardinals just seem to be a little more overwhelming than what the Falcons are able to do. And they haven't been able to slow down the Cardinals at all today. So we see a pass for, just going to throw a prayer up, I'm sure, to Collins.
Yeah, why not?
Or I guess Rison's back down below he was moved at one point. And that's the type of overthrows we're talking about, where he beats his man, but whether it's Hugh Millen or Miller, it just doesn't seem to matter. So, and players like regulators seem to get a lot of mileage out of teams like the Falcons. And I'd like to pick his brain and figure out how the heck they do that.
Yeah, I always tell Mort, you get the best out of the worst quarterbacks. So that's definitely a skill.
And we have the last play of the game here. One more bad Moon Rison attempt. Catches it, but must have been a dive because he could not tap in that situation. it'll look good in the stat sheets, but that'll do it. 37-0. Lucky Tool over Suicide King 81. As you look at the stats here, the interceptions are probably the biggest stat because the actual total yards aren't that far apart from one another. Short field to work with Lucky Tool. We went from 14-0 to 37-0 in a real hurry in the second half.
Yeah, this one just got out of hand quickly in the third quarter, and there's really no looking back. Andre Rison had his first catch of the game on the last play. You're not going to win too many games where Andre Rison only has one catch, and Chris Miller has 25% completion with 3 picks. So that's going to do it for this one.
Well, Tom, thanks again for joining me on this commentary, and we're going to keep bringing you back. And if you guys want to check out Tom's channel, he's got a great retro sports channel. Every team in Tecmo Super Bowl is broken down player by player, matchup by matchup. We'll put a link in his channel, of his channel in the description, as well as his Twitter handle, so you can see what he's up to. He breaks down a lot of games with Mort, and he's also, if you're anywhere in the northern Illinois area, they're doing regular meetups. You want to tell the folks real quick about that?
Oh yeah, of course. We got our first meetup May 9th in Michael Anthony's in Berwyn, Illinois. It's right in the Chicagoland area. We're just meeting up. We got a challenge going. If you could beat Mort, first person to do it gets $50 straight out of my pocket. And hopefully we could run some small tournaments in the future. So if you're interested, just hit me up on my YouTube channel, The Retro Sports Gamer. I'll respond to you and let you know what's going on.
All you keyboard warriors that think you're better than everyone we post videos on, now's your opportunity to prove it, because Mort will be there live in person, as will be Tom. So, hey, thanks so much for joining us. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, hit thumbs down. If you want to see more of what's happening with our tournament, hit subscribe, and you'll certainly get all that information. Thanks for joining us again once more time on GBLAN Online Tecmo.